I was listening to my iPod, and on comes this James Brown song called Superbad. And I just got this idea, and I just kind of saw the whole story.
Come on, you jive turkeys.
I did a photo shoot. I rented some costumes, some 70s outfits, and got pictures made.
And we just kind of started talking again, and I said, well, what have you been working on? And he actually had a picture of himself in the outfit with the gun and the nunchucks, with two women by his side, in the outfit that he's wearing in the last scene in the movie. And I was just like, okay, well, this looks great. I'd like to be a part of this.
Michael Jai White called me one night, and he said, I want you to see something. And I rode over to his house, and he had this old tape where there's a whole scene in the Mac, Max Julian, he's this smooth pimp. The boom is like right in the scene as they're talking, and they didn't cut it out. And I'm like, Michael, why are you showing me this? He said, I'm gonna do a whole movie like that.
We shot a trailer that really maintained the tone of the comedy. We only spent maybe $600 to do this.
Using old blaxploitation footage and putting him on the other end of it. So like he would take a shot, and on the other end was like somebody dying, in some movie from 40 years ago.
We presented the trailer to Ars Nova, and they said, well, this is cool, but okay, why are you showing me this? And it's like, well, this is a movie that we want to make. And they're like, wait a minute, this is a new movie?
We sent it out on Monday. By Wednesday, basically they're like, we're in.
We didn't have a script yet. So there are lots of lines that were in the trailer that just had no support at all. Like it was just a facade, Like there's a line in it, you can kill all the two-bit hustlers in the world, but it still won't bring Jimmy back. Well, there was no Jimmy or, hustlers or anything. So it kind of like, actually that random line just sort of started off the screenwriting process.
We would sit, talk, laugh, write large blocks by ourselves, go back, work together on it, separate scenes, work on them separately. We did a lot of things. Whatever worked for the situation, that's what we did.
It's an unusual script because I would write the mistake in the script, which sometimes I would describe the mistake, and it would absolutely make the script a little longer, even though what occurred is just seconds. Kind of telling a story behind the story.
Dynamite, dynamite. Mike had the idea that he wanted to be a blaxploitation star.
So Black Dynamite is like comprised of a lot of these type of characters, where you have these guys with these nefarious backgrounds. The guy's like, well, what is this guy? I mean, if you look at a Jim Brown movie, it's like he's a club owner. He just shot like 9 people, and it's okay. He just gets in his car, drives away, and then, then sometimes the CIA is saying, we got to get you back, with us. It's like, what does this guy do? What did he do before this movie? Like, and you never even ask that. It was just this badassery that was going on.
You mind telling me how this was found at the scene of my brother's death?
So he has a little bit of Jim Kelly. He has a little bit of Jim Brown. He has a little bit of Fred Williamson. And there are times where we'd want him to do something where he's like, no, Black Dynamite wouldn't do that. And every single time he's absolutely right.
Me and Mike, even from our first film, which was 10 years ago, I mean, we're good at bouncing ideas off of each other, and like, I always found him to be a very funny guy.
You don't realize how funny and silly Mike can be because he's always so serious. He's intense. I mean, Mike is intense, like Black Dynamite.
I am smiling.
And then you see him loosen up and laugh. We're like, you're crazy.
I mean, he held it down so seriously, and that's what made it work. And everything is believable because of him. Well, Byron wrote the script with us, and Byron's character is like an ode to Dolomite, to Rudy Ray Moore, who just passed away last year. I mean, it's completely on point.
He's a lounge performer and nightclub owner. among other things. A ghetto entrepreneur.
Man, who dare knock when I'm planning to plant my dynamite? Main man, Black Dynamite.
What it is, bull?
Dolomite also did Kung Fu, and he was horrible. I mean, he like literally, he would do kicks, and like they would go up to like this high, you know, and like the guy would go flying, you know. So we have some of that in Bullhorn's karate. Mike and Byron there, you know, as the two lead actors, and then setting sort of like, it sort of set the stage of what the flow was supposed to be for most of the actors, and it kind of trickled down to everybody else.
I think that if you look back at the old, you know, quote unquote, black exploitation films, there was always like the righteous sister, the good woman, and the one working for the Black Panther Party, all of that, and that's Gloria. That's who I play. My job, Gloria's job in this, was to play it straight, which makes scenes with Michael Jai funnier, because he's doing ridiculous stuff and I'm still looking at him like, you know, I just love you.
The role of women, unfortunately, in that blaxploitation genre, I would have to admit that women got the short end of the bargain.
I was looking back at the movies, and every single fight, like, before they would, the first hit was to grab a shirt open so your chest would fall out. And then, so then the women would be fighting with their breasts out.
First lady, I'm sorry I pimp slapped you into that china cabinet.
I knew Sally wasn't gonna get naked, so, you know, I just had to think my way around it, because Black Dynamite has to, you know, have sex with the lead woman. And so, what it would remind me of is those Afro Zodiac posters from the 70s. There are all these posters, you know, that people had in their basements, these blue velvet posters, signs of the Zodiac, and there are all these different sex positions. So I thought, wouldn't it be funny for the sex scene if that came to life?
I'm just as weak as all the other women to Black Dynamite's, you know, sexiness.
Shh, mama. You're gonna wake up the rest of the bitches.
Tommy was the first one to sign on. He was down with it immediately.
Cream corn, I based probably cream corn on every pimp informant that I've seen in Starsky and Hutch and Beretta episodes, you know? So I got it from that. Every single one of them, from Huggy Bear to the Rooster. I'm running things, cream corn. That's why they call me that. Smooth.
Like Tommy did a big improv thing with the meat.
2 sausage patties, 2 hot dogs, split down the middle twice, okay? Bologna, fry that up into a dome. Slice that, take the spatula, smush fry it, and 1 waffle, please. What worked at the table read and what worked at rehearsal didn't work at that moment. And so, dude, I need something else. So you kind of just, another arrow. We all got these sacks of comedy arrows. Comedy lives. It's a living art. It's an in-the-moment art. It's an improv art. You know, it's an ism, not a wasm.